Guys, Jackie M, how you doing? Listen, this is one of our specials in partnership with Masa Apa Tak Jadi Hari Ini, which is our Facebook group of cooking fails. So you guys should check it out. But for the first time ever, I'd like to introduce you guys into our MOMC, Friends of MOMC universe. And we have Liam Ghani from the Muddled Pantry. And Liam's very intriguing because he's actually from Penang originally. And he is now based in South Africa. And I like to joke about how hard it is to get good Malaysian ingredients over in South Africa. So this is actually especially compelling for me to be able to see what he manages to pull together insofar as cooking Malaysian food. But Liam, say hello to everyone while I share this out to the world. All right.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi, my name's Liam. As Jackie said, nice to see you all. And yes, today we are cooking some good old Malaysian food, some classics. And don't believe a word Jackie says. Yes, we battle with ingredients, but we get there. We muddle through it, and we will get you some good dishes by the end of this. And yeah, it's really exciting.
Hence why the Muddled Pantry. And Liam, by the way, guys, is actually half Irish and half Malay. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You want to say a couple of Malay words to our Malay audience over in Masa Apa Tak Jadi Hari Ini?
Tak boleh lah. That's my key phrase to get out of anything.
I think I finally come across a Malay person who speaks worse Malay than I do. All right, guys. Yeah, make sure you say hello, everyone, and just tell us where you're watching from. Do a hashtag live if you're watching this live, hashtag replay if you're watching a replay, and post your questions as well. If you want to post them in Malay, that's totally fine, and we'll answer. I'll make Liam answer your questions in Malay. But yeah, let me just quickly play you a clip from Tourism Malaysia. We'll come back in a second, okay? We'll see you shortly. Let's do this. Okay, my mouse is playing up. Okay. We're ready to go. Come on. Gotta make a move to get there right now. Somewhere nice so we can get away. Better than the ordinary day. You're my paradise. Malaysia, truly Asia. All right, guys, we're back.
And go home.
I know, doesn't it? I know, every single time. Never fails. Malaysia is like the best place ever. All right, Liam, tell us what you're making again.
Okay, so today we're making some classics. We're going for a chicken curry Kapitan, one of my all-time favorite for many people. And we're also adding some eggs Belanda with it as well. Eggs Belanda, if maybe you don't know it, it's basically deep fried, if not deep fried, crispy fried eggs with a lovely tamarind sauce that goes on top of it. And it's a really nice foil. If you've got anything that's a coconut-based curry, it's a lovely thing to go with it. And very straightforward, easy, not too much work for a side dish. But yeah, so let's get going. It's exciting. I can't wait to show you how to do this.
Okay, let's do this. Can I ask also, is Kapitan chicken from Penang? Because I never came across it in Negeri Sembilan. I have a feeling it's a Penang dish.
It's a Nonya dish, so yes, in many ways. I believe its origins are a little bit murky. Nobody really quite knows where it comes from. There's the anecdotal thing about a captain wanted a curry, and a chef came up and he said, "This is your captain's curry."
I hear that.
And that's how it was born, but I'm not so sure that's really true. But it is, I mean, really, it's very similar to most Malaysian curries, except it's got a few Nonya elements in it, primarily being belacan and actually some lime makes a big difference. The lime at the end is what really just sets it apart. And lemongrass as well and stuff like, all the old classics, but it's just a little tweak on your classic Malaysian curry. But I was informed by Pearly when I had it at her house once that it never comes with potatoes. I made a tragic mistake of saying something about curry Kapitan and potatoes, and she was mortified. She was like, no, that's not curry Kapitan, as I've now learned. No potatoes. As much as you may want it, you can't have it.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, our paste, which we're going to make up. So I'm just going to show you what I've got. So you can see, I've basically got some dried chilies, which I've soaked into the soft. I've got a red onion and a small regular onion. Ordinarily, you'd use shallots, but we battle to find shallots here, and if we can, it's usually French shallots. So for a curry paste, you can pretty much get away with a white onion or a red onion, but I'm using a bit of both. I've got a couple of garlic cloves, a nice hunk of ginger. Ordinarily, again, you would use lengkuas, but we can't get lengkuas here. So I'm using ginger, and I've actually got a little bit of dried galangal, which I'm going to add as an aromatic as it's cooking through, just to give that slight galangal flavor. Got some slurry, so I've got 2 little bits of lemongrass, and then I've got my good old favorite, buah keras, but again, difficult to get outside Malaysia, but you can substitute it with almonds, or you can also use macadamias too. Will also work. Or if you can't find it, leave it out. It's really just a slight thickening agent, nothing else.
Sure.
Okay, and then we've got some belacan, good old belacan, got to have that. And also some turmeric and a little bit of 5-spice powder, which again is Chinese. Yeah, which is amazing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to chop up our onions very roughly. You don't have to be too precious about it. Let me just find my thing that I'm going to blend it in.
Now, how hard is it to get belacan in your neck of the woods?
It's not easy. Certainly, Malaysian belacan is almost a no-go. We do have Asian supermarkets here, but primarily it will be Chinese food or Thai food. So you can get Thai shrimp paste, which at a push isn't actually that much different, especially if you're using it as part of a paste. So if you're using it as part of a paste, it doesn't really matter that it's not Malaysia. People may disagree with me on this, but yeah, unfortunately, we don't really have a choice. And just chop this up.
Hey, Wendy, apa khabar? Liam, Wendy from Melbourne, Australia. Yay! And I saw Fiona Kilroy say hello earlier. And John says hello from Holland. So very, very fantastic. International. Eileen from Canada. Selena from Melbourne. Selena's up late. It's midnight here
especially the Malaysia, anyone in Asia and Australasia. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Yay, Niza Abdurrahman, apa khabar? Yay. And we have, everybody's there. Tiger Arms in Selamat Sore dan Selamat Malam from Amsterdam. Sebastian Moore. I'm getting fat. Keep watching tasty food. Sebastian is in the USA, so we've basically got the whole world covered so far. Just waiting for people from the Middle East. That's what we're missing. So anyone from the Middle East, make sure you say hello. Very cool.
I'm delighted that there's a couple of people from Holland, because I actually just was reading up a little bit about ex Belanda, which is a dish we'll be making later. And Belanda actually erupted of Hollander, which I didn't realize at all.
Belanda, Holland. Right.
Yeah. But I'm not, to be honest, I'm not sure what tamarind eggs has got to do with Holland. I mean, I don't know if someone who's watching in Holland can explain to us how this came about.
I'm sure there's another anecdote about some Dutch colonialist fancying some eggs out there somewhere.
That's the joy of Malaysian food. I mean, let's be honest, it's such a fusion of influences, and if you think of Portuguese food, think of Dutch food, and makes a massive difference to what we call Malaysian food today.
Maybe the Dutch in our audience can tell us what elements of this dish is Dutch ex Belanda. Andrew Wong says hello from Seattle. 5:30 a.m. He's up early to catch you.
Goodness me! Thank you so much. Okay, I've got roughly chopped my onions, which I'm just going to put in there.
So onion, garlic, and the chilies and the ginger is all going in the blender?
All going into the blender. Again, rough chop is fine. I actually am going to use a stick blender. I find a stick blender is actually slightly better than my larger blender, just to get a smoother paste. I find the contact with the blade is much better.
Okay, sure. Right. John is actually Indonesian from Belanda. Apa kabar, John? Selamat sore. We've got Paul Harris, don't cut yourself. Paul from Napier.
Oh, Paul,
He's
yes,
a
Paul,
friend of
a
yours.
mine from Cape Town, who also
Okay.
recently moved out to the country. He lives in a village about 50 kilometers away from here.
What is it about the country life? By the way, guys, yeah, Liam, like I said, is based in South Africa, and for many years he was in Cape Town, but now he lives in a little village outside of Cape Town.
Very
Have I got
little
it right?
village.
He was going to have to slaughter his own chicken for this dish today, apparently.
No pun, but I chickened out, I'm afraid.
Tiger Arm says, I think it is mainly because of being a dish with cheap ingredients. The Dutch are known for being stingy. That's a good point. That's a nice theory.
That's that needs to go on the Wikipedia page of ex-Belanda now.
Yeah. I'm glad that came from a Dutch person, Tiger Arms.
I am too.
I'll get in trouble for saying that.
That was my anecdote.
Facebook user is asking Liam. Okay, cool. Facebook users asking Liam, are you Cape Malay? And I'll let you explain your background a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm not Cape Malay. I'm actually Malay. I'm actually Malay Irish. And,
Malay Irish.
Yes, Malay Irish. So I actually am from Malaysia. I was born in Penang and I lived there till I was about 16. And yeah, so I've been traveling around since then. I've been in the UK for a while, and now I find myself in South Africa. But no, Cape Malay they are actually descendants of the people who came over during colonial times to South Africa, and a lot of them they came. Some unfortunately came as slaves. A lot actually came as artisans. A lot of our woodworkers and our seamstresses and stuff, they were brought in as skilled labor to South Africa. So nice. They've got very much their own schism of Malaysian food, which is called Cape Malay cuisine, obviously. And it's very different to what we know, but yeah, it's fantastic, but I'm definitely not Cape Malay. And I definitely don't sound like a Cape Malay either. They've got a very distinct
we're gonna
accent.
have to talk a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about the language because I'm very curious about accents and stuff. Chef Norman Musa, our MOMC chef, says, "Hey Liam." There you go.
Hi Norman. Thanks for joining us.
And Jackie, yay Norman. Norman's working hard on EMAG4, by the way, guys. No pressure, Norman.
No. What are you doing watching this thing? Get back to work.
Exactly. He said he was going to have this play in the background while he works on the EMAG. So, guys, anyone waiting for our recipes from Series 4, Norman's the hold up, all right? That's not true. I'm the hold up as well, but I'm blaming Norman.
So I've got all my ingredients in here, which I've got.
Okay.
The only thing I've not added is the turmeric and the 5-spice powder, simply because the turmeric will destroy anything plastic, and that's never a great thing. And also, it's also quite good when you make a paste to blitz it up and then actually put the dry ingredients in it and then mix it together and leave it for a little while, just so it can sort of settle a little bit. So I've added a little splash of oil to this as well, just to get the motors going. You can use water as well. I prefer the oil. Just remember when you're frying it off that there is obviously oil that's going to be released from this. So you just got to reduce the amount of oil that you're going to use. So I'm just going to blend this up a second. I'll put it around. It will just be very loud.
Okay, yeah, sure, no worries. And apa khabar semua dari Masak Apa Tak Jadi hari ini? Nama saya ialah Jackie M. Saya ialah salah seorang daripada kumpulan Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. Kita hari ini ada Liam Ghani. Liam Ghani ialah seorang from dari Penang. Dia nowadays dia tinggal di South Africa, di Afrika Selatan. So say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and kalau ada apa-apa soalan sila tanya dalam komennya, nanti kita akan tanya pada Liam. Okay, thanks guys. And if you're just joining us, we are making two dishes. We're making Kapitan chicken and we're making eggs Belanda. Belanda means Dutch, so Dutch eggs, but it's a Malaysian dish. And we're trying to figure out the origins of that dish. And Tracy Chan says, hey, Tracy and Diana from Penang, Malaysia. Yay. Are they friends of yours? Yeah. A lot of Penang people. Cool. So that's blended. That looks quite cool.
Yeah, like I said, I just find it much easier to do it like this. And I think, again, if you're going to make a paste, you've got to have a blender that's small enough that's actually going to make contact with everything. The bigger the blender, the more it pushes stuff aside. Unless you're making a large quantity, this is a better option.
Sure. And we've got Evelyn, who is a Penangite watching from the UK.
Hey, we're everywhere. Yes.
I know.
Okay. So I'm just
Penang people seem to be very well traveled.
Yeah, which I don't know why, because we all love Penang so much. I'm not sure why we.
I know you guys just can't shut up about Penang. No offense. Like it's the best thing ever.
Like, yes, but Seremban.
Yeah, I know. Hey, come on. Seremban is very underrated.
Okay, so I'm just going to mix in my paste, my powders. So that
now I want to ask. I want to ask you, using turmeric powder, can you get fresh turmeric in your powder wool?
We can actually, yes, we can. I actually bought some the other day, but I bought it for planting because I actually find that the ones that we find in the shop, they're too young. So I find that the color isn't that great. So I like to plant it and actually just use it for the leaves more than anything else. And if we get the ibu bit come out, the mother rye comes out well, then I'll use that. But otherwise, I actually find ground is easy enough. And again, I suppose it depends really what you're using it for. I would argue that, again, for a paste like this, it's not really necessary to have the fresh stuff. Okay, so let's just move this over. Okay, so we're just going to
we've just got some new viewers. Masa apa tak jadi hari ini, apa khabar semua? This is Liam Ghani. Dia akan demo buat Kapitan ayam dan eggs Belanda, telur Belanda. I don't actually know eggs Belanda. I'm really curious to see how it turns out. Now, you mentioned Cape Malay before. How different are the ingredients they use to what we use in Malaysian cooking? Do they use turmeric and stuff like that?
They do, yes. The dried ingredients are generally pretty much the same, simply because Cape Town specifically was on the spice route. So again, and again, because we had Dutch settlers and Portuguese settlers, there was always a relationship with the East. So those things came across. It's the fresh ingredients where there's a big divergence. So they don't use coconut in any of their dishes, even though coconut is sourced here, but it's more like in the tropical section of South Africa, which is up north in the Durban, KwaZulu-Natal area. So originally, those things didn't really transport down to Cape Town because obviously we're a very large country and this was before commercial flights and stuff. So they use a lot of tomato to enrich their dishes instead, because again, that was what was readily available. And yeah, they use a lot of lamb, which is again not something that we use in Malaysian cooking very often. So lamb is very popular.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like a very pared down version of Malay food.
Sure.
So I battle to sometimes. Are you being
polite and trying to avoid saying inferior?
No, it can be delicious. It can be very delicious, but very different. Very different.
All right.
I mean, I think some of the dishes, their roots do come from Malaysia, but over the years, it's just been changed and it's kind of found its own identity a lot more.
But it's how long ago did they settle in South Africa, did you say?
Oh my goodness, I assume in the 1800s, about then, I would imagine. So they've been here a long time. And again, a lot of the dishes also have found great popularity, like think of baburti, which is one of the most popular Cape Malay dishes, which is a baked, how do I explain this? It's almost like a shepherd's pie, but with like a spiced meat, which is baked. And then there's like a custard that's put on top of it and baked. I know, I can see your face. You're just like, oh no, that's so weird. But this is one of the most popular dishes. And it's one of these that's actually, the Afrikaners make it, the Cape Malays make it. And so it very much sort of transcends the different groups here, certain dishes.
Right. Interesting. Prem's watching from Nepal. Prem says the paste and curry looks very nice, but where is the chicken? Is it left for marination? Chicken hasn't made an appearance yet, Prem.
No. I will whip out my chicken now. No, the chicken is not marinated in anything. it's basically, that's my chicken, a nice one little jointed chicken, which I'm going to add now. So I'm just going to take this off the heat slightly. Again, I don't want my oil to be too hot when I add my, because it will burn otherwise. Okay. And
Paul's saying, don't forget a tomato bready. Is that how you pronounce it?
Tomato breedy. Yeah, that's another part.
Breedy.
A breedy is actually a fascinating thing. So it's a stew, but you don't add water to it. So the whole thing is cooked using just meat juices that renders from the meat and from the vegetables. And it's cooked over a slow period of time. And the sauce is very intense. So it's not watered down in any way. It's purely what comes off the meat and the vegetables. And it's taken me a long time to use. Lamb, largely, again, because it renders a lot of fat and a lot of liquid. So,
sure. Right.
Let's see if I can.
Mariam Ghani says, hi, Liam, love from KL. Is that a family?
That's my cousin. That's Mariam. Hi, Mariam.
Hi, Mariam. Hi,
Mariam's mother is Rohani Jelani, who I've spoken to you about before, who's an amazing Malaysian ambassador of food and one of the vanguards of starting cookery schools and stuff. And amazing.
Nice. Can we have her on one day, Rohani Jelani?
I don't know. Ask Mariam. Mariam, can you get your mum on for us?
We'd love to have her cook for MOMC one of these days, Mariam. She's up for it.
Mariam's like, get me off. I'm not here anymore. Okay, so I've just added a little bit of my coconut milk to it as well.
All right.
So I've turned this right down. Now, as you all know, this is the most important part to any Malaysian curry, which is really, you've just got to fry it off, not too low, not too high. Just got to make sure that it doesn't burn. So we're going to fry this off until it reduces down and the oil separates. Again, this is where patience is ultimately required, is until that process happens, you don't want to add your meat at all. Because otherwise the onions and stuff won't have actually cooked down. That's the only way you know that it's actually ready, is when the oil separates and it becomes very fragrant.
Sure. Mariam says she will ask her mom. So there you go. Yay.
Mariam.
We've pressured her now. So did you use coconut milk or coconut cream?
I'm using coconut milk. Coconut cream is a little bit hard to come by here. You can get it, but I'm just using coconut milk. I think, again, for something like this, it's not, you don't really need the coconut milk. Sometimes if you're lucky, you get the coconut cans where it settles at the top.
Use that. Those are good ones.
Yeah, that used to annoy me actually until I knew what I was doing, and I was like, taking them all, saying, that one doesn't have, that one doesn't have. Now it's the opposite.
That's right. I've known people who threw out their can of coconut milk because they noticed it separated and they thought it gone off. I'm like, you're just killing me here.
No. Some things you don't need to know. Okay, so whilst that's going on, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fry I'm going to start frying my eggs. So the thing about eggs Belanda too is that you're going to pre-fry your eggs, and then they can actually sit on the plate for a little while. The eggs don't have to be piping hot, because you're going to make a hot sauce, which you're then going to add onto the eggs afterwards.
Right.
So,
sure, cool.
So let me just get that going as well.
And Jamie is watching from Manila. Good evening, Jackie. Yay, good evening, Jamie. We've got Liam here for those of us who are just joining us. Liam's one of our friends of MOMC, and he is making 2 dishes, Kapitan chicken and also eggs Belanda. So I'm really curious to see, especially eggs Belanda, how it's going to turn out. Because Kapitan chicken, I think most people would be familiar with.
Yes. Well, again, it's one of the standard things. I think what's great about curry Kapitan is that, again, it's very versatile in terms of how you can enjoy it. It's one of those things. Roti jala, come on, amazing. Roti canai, amazing. Just plain old roti Bengali, ripped apart and dipped in the morning. That's for me is curry Kapitan.
You're making everyone start making plans to get back to Malaysia once the borders reopen.
Or come to South Africa. Come to South Africa and be surprised that you can have all of this in a little village.
Yeah, at Liam's house, all right, yeah. Kathy Xiaobuntan, hey, how you doing? Yeah, guys, if you got any questions, hit us up and we will post them to Liam. Paul says it's good to actually see Liam cook now instead of just hearing his voice while I cook on Wednesdays. So that's your...
You can pay attention and nitpick.
Yeah, now you know what it's like. Cool.
If anyone doesn't know, Paul is my usual cooking partner. So there's the two of us, and I cook down here in the Western Cape, and he's way up there in Poor Man, near Johannesburg. So yeah, we have a little cook-off, and yeah, you should watch us sometimes. So you do rib him a little bit much, bless him. He's very patient with us.
Yes, yeah, I know. Still,
Okay.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
I'm
Kathy
sure
is watching from Perlis in Malaysia. Yay!
Hi, Kathy.
And yay, we have Hamima Karim up Bakaba Hamima. Yay, Hamima says hello, Jackie and Liam. Yay! Good to have you.
Okay, right. I'm gonna fry my eggs. I've got my oil nice and hot. Just gonna make sure it's just a little bit hotter than that. Hang on.
Paul saying, get that elbow up when you stir, Liam. It's his turn
Sorry,
to troll you
again?
now. Paul saying, get that elbow up when you stir.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check this and see. Okay, nice and hot.
That's a very fresh looking egg. I'm amazed at how round that yolk is.
No, we're actually very lucky here with eggs and chicken in general, actually.
Sure.
We get actually quite good produce.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to splash it over. I just want to get it a little bit crispy. I'm just going to do one at a time.
You know, that's a really unique Malaysian way of cooking eggs, like the amount of oil you've got there. I think it'll freak out some Westerners who aren't familiar with this.
It's not all staying in here. We are going to get rid of some of it.
Sure.
And then I'm just going to scoop this one out.
But yeah, you practically deep fry the egg. Miranda's asking, where is the name Eggs Belanda coming from? Miranda, now this is from your fellow Dutch. Miranda's in Holland, obviously. Miranda, from your fellow...
Apparently it's a Dutch thing, so...
Yeah, from your fellow Dutch national. Their theory is that they think it was called Eggs Belanda because it uses cheap ingredients, and the Dutch are known for being cheap.
Not our words. We did not say that.
I promise we did not say that.
Okay. Right. Now, I like my eggs a little bit runny in the middle. I think it's actually quite nice in the dish itself. So I'm looking for it to just get a little bit crispy on the outside for some texture. I think you can just fry your eggs normally, but I think the little bit of crispiness just gives it, just gives it a little bit extra bite.
Yeah, I agree. Kathy is saying, love this way of frying eggs, crunchy whites and creamy yolk, yummy. I agree, actually.
Yes, definitely. It's the best way.
I have to admit, I don't actually, that's actually lost on me. I've lived outside of Malaysia for long enough that I've forgotten that's how they do eggs over there. So I'm going to have to do that.
So I'm cracking my eggs with a bowl first. I find it's much easier to do this and slip it in than actually trying to crack it in. I have had too many broken yolks over the years, and it just breaks my heart when it happens. So we're not taking any chances today. Okay,
that's a good idea. Are you cooking a whole chicken, by the way, Liam?
Virtually, yes.
Okay, sure. And what I noticed with Liam and Paul when they cook in South Africa, here in Australia, we're kind of spoiled. It's very rare that you'll find people like cut up a whole chicken and cook it. You know, we're spoiled in that we buy chicken pieces and chicken fillets as well. So you get like breast pieces, you get like legs and all that. So I find it really kind of interesting to see Liam and Paul like at least chop up a whole chicken. Or give the appearance of having done so anyway.
Personally, I prefer chicken on the bone. It's something a little weird to me when something's deboned and you just think, what process has it gone through to get there? And a lot of the good stuff is often cut off. So I like to have a good old regular chicken. I mean, our chicken's pretty brutal here. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted. Sometimes you've got to pull a little bit of feathers off and stuff, but you know, it's just the way it is.
That's very rustic.
Whilst I'm just waiting for my paste to finish up, I'm just going to turn my oil down a bit. I'm also going to fry off some red onion. I've left the same amount of oil in there, so I'm just going to fry that in it, and just until it softens slightly. Okay.
Sure. Yuhao was saying, very good idea using the bowl, and Haslina is saying that she likes the eggs done that way as well. How are you, Haslina? Haslina saying, hi, Jackie, hi, Liam. Hey, Belgian Koa, hey, hi from Sydney. Belgian's staying up late. Well, it's a weekend night, I suppose, yeah. See, all these people staying up for you, Liam.
Spending your Friday night with us. That's a fantastic
exactly. Then you can sleep in tomorrow. Catherine Taylor McCaughey, finally catching a live video. Hi, Liam. Catherine, yay. How you doing? Where are you watching from, Catherine?
Dubai.
Dubai. All right. Is that right?
Yes, Catherine went to the same school that I went to as well, in Penang.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Haslina finally gets to catch live again. Yay. Now, tell us a little bit about your live.
I'm cutting my onions quite thick, by the way. I don't want them to get too thin. You want a little bit of chunk to them.
Right. So you're cooking them till they're caramelized, or how are you going to be cooking them?
No. Literally until they just start to soften slightly. If my oil isn't too hot and I don't end up singeing them all.
Sure.
So let me just throw that in. Okay, just turn it around. Okay, in the meantime, my curry paste is getting there.
Okay, cool. Now, Fiona's asking, chicken skin on or off?
Oh, on. 100% on.
Sure.
Gonna try
chicken skin on for Liam. I like that. I only eat chicken skin if it's deep fried, to be honest. I don't like the slimy, slippery texture of like chicken skin.
Does the Leha know this?
What? Sorry?
Does the Leha know this about you?
Oh, yeah. Chicken isn't crispy. Oh, don't tell her.
That's not trying to start a fight or anything.
I know. That's true. Oops. That's a little bit of a faux pas.
Except in chicken rendang, then it's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. We're not making chicken rendang. We're talking about something else here.
Okay, so my onions are virtually done. That's how quick the onions are. Really, just cook. Yeah, it's not. You're not cooking them a lot. I just want to soften them slightly. Just give them a few seconds longer. Okay, right. Let me fish those out. And now, so I've got my eggs, which I've just put on the platter for now.
Nice.
And then I'm just going to put onions on top of them as well. Then I'm just going to leave this to one side while we get on with the chicken curry.
Sure. Haim Azam, I missed earlier stream. What is Liam cooking? Haim is making Kapitan ayam and eggs Belanda. Guys, tell me who online actually knows eggs Belanda, because I grew up in Malaysia and I'd never heard of eggs Belanda until like fairly recently. Now, Liam, I was going to ask you.
Everyone's Googling eggs Belanda. Okay, so my paste is getting there, nice and ready. It's reduced down quite a lot. Just going to let it a bit more. Okay. And turn it up slightly, just to before I put the chicken in.
Okay, cool. See, Tiger Arm said they know eggs Belanda. Tiger Arm's not even Malaysian; they're Indonesian.
Ah, well, the thing is, it could actually have. I mean, again, the Dutch influence could well come from.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
things travel across the causeways and stuff so often in that part of the world. And,
true, that is true. That is true. So Kathy votes for skin on. So hey Annie, how you doing? Good afternoon, Jackie and Liam. Annie's watching from the USA. So yeah, great to have you. Tiger Arm says they make eggs Belanda themselves sometimes. Haim says never heard of it either. Thank you. Now I don't feel so lame. But you know, of the MOMC chefs, the one who makes a lot of stuff that I've never heard of is Zaleha, actually, because she's from Pahang. Really? Yeah, and I'm very poorly traveled in Malaysia, especially on the East Coast. Selena says, I remember making telur Belanda in secondary cooking class, but have never made or eaten it since. There you go. Selena's from Ipoh. Selena's watching from Melbourne. And yeah, so I wonder maybe if it's a kind of like Penang Ipoh kind of thing.
I'm not sure. It's one of those things that I think it caught my eye when I was looking through Pearlie's cookbook, and I thought that's for me. I don't know what it is.
Right.
But for some reason, I'm quite dyslexic. So for about a month, I was calling it egg Belinda. and then I made it. Belinda. Like, oh, you make it Belinda. I was like, okay, mental note, not Belinda. Don't say Belinda again. But luckily, I live in South Africa where no one knows any better. So
yeah, exactly. Liam's Malay is so funny. Hamima says, I have never heard of telur Belanda. Thank you, Hamima. See, I'm glad it's not just me.
Well, you're seeing it here first then. That's awesome.
Exactly, yeah. Johan says, hi Liam, my mom just made ayam Kapitan last week with skin on, of course. So
okay,
the skin lovers brigade.
Johan's my other cousin. I have a gaggle of cousins, and his mum,
awesome.
Aunt Jan, is actually an amazing cook. She's one of these that, because my grandmother was a very good cook, and she passed a lot of that knowledge on to my aunt Jan, and yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. Her what she made the other day? Oh, her nasi lemak's amazing, and just so good. And
are they in Penang as well, or?
No. Most of my whole family actually over the years have moved to KL and PJ. So really, I've just got extended family in Penang, and I've got my friends largely in Penang as well. Those that stayed there.
Okay.
So just
vegan chef Dave's having a laugh about your eggs Belinda.
I don't know if we should have warned people. I tend to overshare a little bit, things I shouldn't really say. Anyway.
Now, Paul Gray says he Googled it. It's also called eggs Brenda. So, well, there you go. Eggs Brenda.
Oh, okay.
And Chef Dave says Pearlie taught him how to make tofu Belanda. Tofu Belanda. Oh, because of the vegan angle. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess in lieu of eggs, you can use tofu.
I don't see why not. That would be delicious.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. See, Annie says never eaten egg Belanda. Cool. Yep, go on.
So I'm just bringing this up to boil. So I've obviously added my coconut milk. I've got just for a little bit extra flavor, I've got the outer husks of the lemongrass, which I've reserved.
Okay.
So I'm just going to.
I like how you use the outer husk. It's like waste not, want not. It seems
precisely, you've got it. It adds a bit of flavor. I've got some cinnamon, which I'm just going to break in half and throw in as well.
Okay, I was about to say there's a big chunk. Okay, cool. Okay,
so we're just going to let that come to a boil and reduce down. Obviously, the length of time it takes to cook very much depends on what type of chicken, what pieces of chicken that you've got, and how small you've cut it. So I've cut mine quite small for this, so we don't have to wait too long.
Sure.
So again,
Hamima saying, I know it as telur balado, which is Minang for telur balada. Oh, right. So balada actually means like chili. Balado, because I know of terung balado, like the eggplant balado, which is a Minang dish as well. Right. Oh, that makes sense. Balado, Belanda. So maybe it's got nothing to do with the Dutch at all.
Quite possibly not. Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to pour a little bit of my oil out, most of the oil out from my eggs and my onions. So I've left about 2 tablespoons worth on that.
Okay, cool.
I'm just putting my...
Dave's saying balado and Belanda is actually different. Okay, so there you go. So this...
okay.
Well, erase my hopes there for a second. So is there any chili that's going to go in the blanda or no?
Yes, I'm just going to talk you through what I'm going to put in the egg blanda. Okay. So we fried some eggs off, nice and crispy. We also a red onion. I've just softened in nice chunky rings. Then basically we've got some garlic, which we're going to saute off with a little bit of bean paste.
Ah, like the tauco.
Yes, which I bought back from Malaysia, Italy, a very large bottle.
Can you not get that over there?
We can get a variety. I mean, there is a Chinese version of it, which you can get. Again, at a push, it shouldn't be a problem. You can substitute miso if you really, really want to. It's quite similar. Anyway, really, it's just soya paste. So I've got some sugar, and I've got a little bit of soya sauce, and I've also got tamarind, which I've been soaking in. So about a cup of water, tamarind water. I'm actually using proper tamarind, not tamarind paste or concentrate, simply because it helps having those little nice chewy bits that you get when you actually have it, just again for a bit of texture. Okay. You don't do like chewy bits.
No, it's like, I get the tamarind extract straight out of the jar. Dave says, I thought the same then. Okay. Yeah.
So we've got a little bit of chili, spring onions, and crispy shallots.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Chef Dave says, I thought the same too. He actually thought that Belanda and Balado were the same thing, and then Pearly lectured him. It's called Belanda because those days the Dutch bring in tamarind from India and Indonesia, and the local benefits from it and created the egg Belanda dish. There you go. So nothing to do with like the Dutch being cheap. There you go. How did Pearly know all that?
Pearly knows everything.
I know. Don't mess with Pearly.
Okay, so I'm just going to let my curry bubble away in the background there, and then I'm bringing this up. I don't want to make it too hot at this stage, simply because I don't want to burn my garlic. Okay. So, let me just chop up my garlic quickly. Bear with me a sec.
Cool. Vegan Chef Dave loves your bowl. Guys, if you're watching this, keep your eyes peeled for the food photos that Liam's gonna post online after this. Liam is he's pretty much a professional photographer, so his food photos are amazing. Catherine's asking, how do you prepare fresh tamarind before soaking?
Okay, I can show you that. One sec. I'll just finish this off, and I'll get. So what I'm going to do is, so we all know what tamarind. So I'll just show you what tamarind I've got.
Sure.
So this is a little bit that I've got left. So again, it comes in this form with its seeds and all these little bits in it. So you've just got to soak it in some hot water. And then, depending on what you're going to use it for, you can either strain it if you want to have a lot, if you don't want to have the pulp in it. You have to take the seeds out if you are going to use the pulp. So you can actually just use your fingers. The finger's actually best if you want to get in there and squeeze out the actual tamarind cream, which is where the flavor is really at. But it depends on what you're using it for. The other thing too is that if you're making something like asam prawns, then actually keeping some of the pulp in again makes a big difference because that fries up and becomes nice and chewy when you eat the prawns themselves. But yeah, it's very straightforward. Otherwise, you can use paste. That's the other thing. You can buy tamarind paste, tamarind concentrate, which you can either add directly to your dish or you can mix with a little bit of water, again, depending on what the recipe requires. Sometimes some people like to mix it with water because the recipes often say half a cup of water or whatever it is if you're using fresh tamarind. So just psychologically, it's easier sometimes just to work it out. But just be careful with your tamarind pastes because they do vary wildly in intensity.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. I've been caught out before as well. And by the way, guys, these recipes you can find at themuddledpantry.com. Am I right, Liam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
So go to Liam's blog, themuddledpantry.com, and he, like I say, he's a South African Malaysian, and he posts a lot of Malaysian recipes there, especially if you live in a part of the world where you may not have the luxury of getting all these exotic ingredients that some of our chefs use in our cooking. Liam's blog is a good one to look up for some of the recipes.
Yeah, the ethos of the blog really is about replicating global food in a place where you can't necessarily find the dishes that you want, or the ingredients you need. Okay, so let's just see.
Fiona saying, Liam cepat lah, hungry lah.
Okay, so I'm just going to fry off the bean paste and the garlic together. I'll turn it up slightly.
Okay, sure. Jan Ghani, I'm assuming his family as well. Jan Ghani says, hi, Liam. Looking good.
Hi, Jan. Auntie Jan is the lady I was just telling you about, the amazing cook that she is.
Okay, yeah, Jan, maybe we should have you on one day too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's do that.
Kathy's saying, don't forget to stir your curry. Everyone's really invested in your food today, Liam.
Oh, there, good. Okay, so I'm just frying this off until the garlic cooks down a bit. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to add my tamarind.
Did you say you're going to be adding sugar in your eggs Belanda sauce as well, or?
Yes, about a tablespoon.
Okay, so it's going to be like soury, a little bit sweet, a little bit sour sort of thing?
Yeah, very much so.
Cool.
So we're just going to let that come up to a boil. I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce to it, about a tablespoon as well.
Sure.
And then my sugar. About enough. Okay, and we're just going to let that come up. And then we're going to actually just add a little bit of a corn flour slurry to it.
All right.
Yeah, just to thicken it up at the end, just again to give it a little bit of body. So let's just let all that. My kitchen is a mess, just so you know. We'll keep the camera up this high because it looks like a bomb's hit it. I'm not the most clean cook.
It looks perfect compared to Paul's kitchen.
Oh, shame.
Paul's going to kill us now.
He is judging his kitchen. Okay.
Maybe it's just about his camera angles. Cool.
It's always about the camera angles.
Yeah.
So, of course, what I must say, one thing I would love to learn to make, which I keep seeing you guys do on your shows, is homemade roti canai. Really want to do it. I really do. So yeah, I know the flip. Yes. And because if anyone who doesn't know, I'm actually currently in a rental I'm building, and my new kitchen on my island, I'm getting a marble top. So that's my first thing I want to do is my roti canai on my marble top.
We're gonna see if you nail the flipping thing before Paul does, because that's Paul's mission as well, to be able to flip roti canai. Okay. Yeah. So it's on, Liam.
Nothing like a good bit of unhealthy competition between us.
Yeah. No, those who don't know, Paul is our techie in Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. He's also actually a co-founder of MOMC, but you don't see him around. But he does sometimes do cook-alongs with Liam on my platform. And Paul is actually also in South Africa. So it's like a touch of Malaysia in South Africa. So you guys should check that out as well when you get a chance.
Oh, definitely. It's good fun. Okay, yeah. So I've got my sauce has just come up to a nice boil. So I'm just going to add again, it's about a tablespoon of water and corn flour. Of course, always add your corn flour first before adding the water. Otherwise, you're going to end up with lumpy corn flour water, which is just a nightmare. Sure.
Good tip. Paul Gray says, I'm going to earn Liam with the roti flipping. There you go.
The roti flipping thing. I'm feeling a bit confident about this.
And Paul Harris is saying kitchens that look like a war zone have the best chefs. There you go.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Loving my polls today.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually come up. Didn't use all the slurry. Again, just use your judgment about how thick you want the sauce to be.
Sure.
Okay, let's turn that down. So I'm looking at a sauce that's about that sort of pouring consistency.
Sure.
Take that off. So I'm just, whilst my chicken curry is just getting there. Okay, let me just leave that on there for a second. Let's just finish off the Belanda. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that there so you can see what I'm doing. So we're just going to smother the eggs in the sauce. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Cool. So is it meant to be drowning in it, or?
Yes, basically. It's a pretty saucy dish, it has to be said.
Sure.
Okay, and then we've got, like I said, we've got a little bit of dried shallots, deep fried shallots. We've got some sliced red chili and a little bit of spring onion as well.
Sure. So, Sebastian says, I have a no-flip version of roti canai. Where's the fun in that, Sebastian?
No, Sebastian, come on. Okay. What roti canai without a little bit of risk, I say.
Exactly.
And humiliation.
I get to stick onto this feeling or something. Oh, nice.
That's my Belanda, ready to go.
Okay. Right. Okay. Cool.
Okay, and my chicken curry is starting to get there again. So we're trying to just, again, wait until the oil starts to separate out a bit.
Sure. Yep, cool. And do you have some rice cooked up for this, or?
Shockingly, no.
Oh,
I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I didn't make rice. I'll make some for dinner. This will sit for once.
Sure.
You know, of course, being curry Kapitan, strictly speaking, we should not be eating this on the day. I'm a great believer in curry the next day, especially this, because I mean, even just a few hours of calming down, of letting it rest, makes a massive difference.
But your eggs will go cold. Miranda's saying the Dutch love their gravy, so be heavy on the sauce. There you go. You've got her permission.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what I'm going to add in, just in a minute, not quite yet. So I've got my a bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of white pepper, which I'm going to add because I haven't salted anything in the curry Kapitan yet. And then we've also got right at the very end, just a little bit of lime juice. So I've got about two juices of lime, juice from 2 limes, basically.
All right.
But I'm just going to leave that right to the very last minute.
Tiger Ram's asking, since we're not allowed to put potatoes in the Kapitan, can we pair it with French fries?
Yes. Oh, gosh, yes. Why not? Oh, definitely. I made burgers the other day, and I had some leftover rendang sauce, which I put on top of the burger. Oh, come on. With some cheese, and it was so good. It was really delicious.
That would work too, yeah. And he says, I like my meat swimming in the gravy. I know, right?
Oh, yeah. We're all about the kwa, let's be honest. The kwa is king.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, in fact, actually, when I make Indian food, which I do quite a lot, I find I actually don't eat very much of the actual meat itself because I'm just all about the kwa. So I often just take a little bit of all the sauces and mix it with my roti. And I don't really eat the protein that much.
Listen to him pronounce Malay words, guys. There's a Bumiputra here, by the way. The kwa and the roti. It is.
Oh, yeah, I have a passport to prove it.
Kwa and the roti.
The kwa and the roti. Don't mock. When we go to Malaysia and you wait, give me 2 hours and I'll be speaking Malay like the rest of you.
We'll believe it when we see it. Banjir on rice. Yay, I know, I agree. You know what I'd really notice when I go back to Malaysia, when we go to those nasi campur places, because I've traveled with TV crews before and like with Malay TV crews, and having lived overseas, lived in Australia for so long, we like our protein, right? And you go around like with this buffet thing, they give you a big mountain of rice, and I'm like, no, I just want like half a cup of rice, and then I'll be piling all kinds of like chicken drumstick and all the rendang and everything.
Yeah, they're like, well, I've got so much money.
Whereas the Malay crews will come around with a big mountain of rice and lots of kuah and just one little piece of chicken wing and one little dollop of vegetable.
The kuah is free, the meat is not.
I know. Well, it's really awkward. Like when we were filming in Malaysia and the food was comped by the production. And usually when you go and eat at these big buffets, outdoor kind of like restaurant things, they'll go around with a little piece of paper to write down what you eat after the fact. And then it'll be like tabulating how much each person's plate is, And it'll be like 5 ringgit, and it'll become to Jack, it's like 25 ringgit.
Actually, we went to Malaysia not that long ago. I went for nasi campur lunch with somebody, and I forgot this rule. And she was like, "Okay, you want a piece of chicken?" I'm like, "No, I want 2," and I want some dugging as well. And this one, and I could see her eyes were like, "Wow, okay, strange white man, here's all that food." It was delicious, expensive, but delicious.
Yeah, right. I know. It's so embarrassing.
Let's just see how that's going. Okay, so my curry's reduced down quite a bit.
Cool.
Okay. Of course. Oh, smells so yummy. Okay, so I'm going to add my salt and sugar and white pepper.
That's a great question. Miranda's asking, I've seen several Kapitans, but the curry had different thickness. Is it a personal preference? It does vary. My Kapitan chicken is quite different to Liam's. It looks the same. But mine doesn't have like the heavier spices like the 5-spice powder or the cinnamon. Yeah. But
well, I think personally, I think it needs to have quite a lot of sauce, but quite a thick sauce. So.
Sure.
Again, you don't want to dry it out too much, because part of the joy of it, again, if you're eating it with roti, if you're eating it with roti jala, it's about getting in there and getting your hands all dirty and mixed up. So it comes down to preference.
Yeah, it's quite funny actually. It just reminded me that one of my YouTube videos on Kapitan chicken, which thankfully wasn't actually cooked by me, I was hosting a chef in Penang cooking Kapitan chicken, and he was doing it the Penang way, and it looked beautiful, tasted beautiful. And one of the comments was from an Indian mamak in Penang saying, "That's not how you make Kapitan chicken. I have I work at a mamak store and we have Kapitan chicken. It should be more Indian," and stuff like that. I was thinking, no, it's not. But then everybody has their own version of it.
No, but it's amazing how people take ownership over certain dishes, and
they say this is mamak dish.
Variation is key. I mean, what I've never quite understood too, like in Malaysia, you'd eat something at one place and you go to somewhere else and they've got a different style of cooking it, or no two things are the same. So I never quite understand why people get so het up about what the perfect version of something is, because it doesn't exist. It simply doesn't exist. Or the perfect person who cooks it has a bad day. It's a different curry. It's
totally agree. Shane Chanin says, "Hi Liam, love from Isa and I from Singapore."
Hi.
Isa.
Hi Shen. I didn't hear who it was. Yes.
Shane.
This is another cousin of mine. I was married to Isa. Isa is actually Rohani's eldest son as well.
Right. Okay. Very cool.
She's one of our latest additions to the Ghani clan. She loves it.
Nice. Nice.
It's a great clan to be a part of.
Well, there you go. And I've got Angus Pollock. Hi, Liam. So when can we come for dinner? Angus Pollock.
Angus and Lauren actually were my ex-neighbors when I lived in Cape Town, and
nice.
I used to feed. They benefited very much from the fact that my partner doesn't eat Malaysian food, so I would make lots of food and go and knock on their door, or sometimes when they got brave, they would come knock on my door. I'd be like, "Hi, we smell food. Can we go?" Happily.
Angus, it looks like you might need to move out to a little village.
You never know. The man likes his Asian food. Okay, so I'm just add in my last ingredient, which is the lime juice.
Sure.
I'll leave it a few seconds longer.
So did you grow up eating Kapitan chicken much at all, Liam? Because it wasn't something that I grew up eating in Seremban.
Yes, actually, quite a lot. My grandmother used to make it quite often, and we used to go to Hamidas a lot back in the day when it was just the original Hamidas. So we used to eat this quite often.
Okay.
It was also my father's favorite curry, so we had it quite a lot.
Nice.
And yeah, no, it is very much part of my childhood.
Okay.
In fact, I talk about my blog how I always associated with, as a family, we used to go out, like, for picnics and stuff, and sometimes we'd go to some waterfalls that were in Penang, and we'd have our leftover curry Kapitan in our little plastic box and all our bread.
You know what I was doing? From 8 years of age, I was working full-time, helping to run my parents' food stall in Malaysia. I
was frolicking in waterfalls and eating curry Kapitan. Oh dear.
Yeah, there you go. And going to private schools and whatnot.
Yeah. We like to say international school. It sounds slightly less pretentious.
Yes, international school is code for rich people's school.
Yeah, I think this should be done in about 5 minutes' time. I'm just waiting for that elusive slick of oil.
Sure, cool. You know what we can do? We can play a quick message from Junior MasterChef Australia contestant Ryan, and he's got a quick message for us and about EMAG4 as well, which hopefully our chef Norman Musa is working hard at home
right now.
Yeah. All right, guys, just give us 2 seconds since Liam's got to wait for his chicken to finish off. Let's play a quick message from Ryan and his dad Sashi. Okay, we'll come back in a second.
Hello everyone on Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. I'm Sashi Chalaya, winner of MasterChef Australia 2018. I'm currently running a restaurant called Gajah by Sashi in Adelaide.
And hello, my name is Ryan. I'm Sashi's son, and I'll be in Junior MasterChef on Network 10 starting on October the 11th. I am so excited to be on your screens for Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. Look out for my interview and my recipe on EMAG4.
Have a great night.
Isn't he just so damn cute?
He is. He really is. I didn't realize his father was a MasterChef as well, so it's obviously running in the family. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. His father won MasterChef in 2018, and it's from Singapore.
Okay.
Singaporeans are kind of like honorary Malaysians in MOMC. Our chef Nora Harun is from Singapore as well. so they're okay.
Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter where you are or who you are, I'm afraid. If you can cook good Malaysian food, you're fantastic in my book. So, yeah,
I agree.
The colour of your passport means nothing.
Isa saying, making me so hungry I can smell it from here. There you go.
I have no sympathy. I'm sorry. For you guys from Malaysia, Singapore, just go out and buy some food. Go out for supper.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. I miss it so much. Okay.
Malaysia, where you can just step out at 3 o'clock in the morning and just get whatever you want to eat, you know.
Oh, yeah. We don't know how lucky we are in Malaysia.
No, we don't, truly.
Okay, so I'm going to dish this up. Oh, it smells so yummy. Now, like I said before, obviously, if you've got time, you want to leave this overnight in the fridge. Give it a nice little time to rest. And, I mean, of course, you can eat it straight away. There's no reason why not. But it will be better by multitudes if you have a little bit of patience. Okay. Take it up a bit.
Have you ever done Kapitan with any other kind of protein, or have you always done it with chicken?
No, actually. No, yeah. I've only ever done it exclusively with chicken.
Okay, sure.
That's the curry Kapitan. Ready.
Beautiful. Right. It looks quite orangey, actually.
It is actually quite orangey. I'm quite surprised. Mine doesn't normally turn out quite so much. I don't know whether I was slightly heavy-handed with the turmeric. I'm overcompensating for not having fresh turmeric, perhaps. Who knows? But also, I think using the red onion also has a bit of an effect on the color as well. So ordinarily, I would just use a regular sweet white onion. So the red onion, I think, has added quite a bit. And I go quite overboard with the chilies. I made this for myself, not my South African neighbors.
Isa says it's never the same as home cooked. So that is true, though.
That's true.
Jasmine
that is
says,
true.
Wow, I finally caught it live. Finally catch it live. Hey, Jasmine, how you doing? He just finished. He just got done cooking the Kapitan chicken and also eggs Belanda. So, can you hold both of them up for us, Liam?
Yeah, I'll get the eggs Belanda back. Hang on.
Okay, cool. And he says,
so
"Wow, that's beautiful."
Tilt the camera down a bit so you can get a better look.
Okay,
so
nice. And honestly, if I didn't know any better, I would think that was actually eggplant. Because
yes, you would think so. Well, again, I think the red onion gives it that impression.
Yeah.
It most definitely is not eggplant. And then that's my...
Oh, beautiful. Kapitan chicken.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I love red Kapitan chicken, but still sort of tastes awesome though. And that's it. Now I just need to get around to making some rice before I can eat anything.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And take photos too. Jasmine's actually watching from Vancouver Island. Very cool, Jasmine.
Lovely. Beautiful.
Just the tail end of it. Tiger Arm says, well, orange is the color of the Dutch royalty, so it goes perfect with eggs Belanda.
There you go. There's always a way around it. It was on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It was totally planned. Dutch Royal Kapitan chicken. All right, guys. Thank you so much for this, Liam. Don't forget, have a look at themodelpantry.com for that and all the other Malaysian recipes that Liam's posted over there. And I've got quite a few other messages. Everyone's saying, Lauren says, looks delicious, Liam. Kathy says, yummy. Belgit says, yummy. Jamaluddin Ghani says, nicely done, Liam. Is that family as well? Oh, the Ghani. The Ghani clan.
All the Ghanis are in town.
Yeah, apparently. All right, guys.
I may have mentioned I was doing this.
I'm glad you did. Hey, thank you, Tiger Arms. Yeah, great to see you guys. Don't forget, next session is Monday, MOMC Monday, where we've got 2 other chefs from our MOMC universe going live. And the theme in our series is on noodles, right? So we're going to have 2 other noodle dishes ready for you coming up on Monday. So make sure you stay tuned. And don't forget, if you missed some of our lives, you can go catch them on our YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/Masters of Malaysian Cuisine. I know it's long, but that's a YouTube thing. Well, guys, that was fun, wasn't it? We'd love to have Liam back, right? Liam's just been amazing. And everyone's giving you lots of kudos over here. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around, especially those in my part of the world. I know it's late for us over here. And Hamima says, it's me going to go find some roti in Kua. What's roti in Kua?
I think hunger may have gotten the better of her.
Yeah, we can all keep making fun of. We should actually, get Liam to speak more Malay in our next session.
That's going to go well.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I have no shame. It's fine.
All right. Thanks again, guys. Thanks so much for doing this, Liam. We gave him very short notice.
Thank you for having me.
To step in to do this. All right. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Ciao.
Okay, bye.
Ha ha ha!